Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Freestyle Takeover podcast, the premier podcast for all things freestyle and dance gaming. You're listening to episode 17. They only want you when you're 17. When you're 21, you're no fun. We have a great episode for you tonight and a special guest. People around the room, it's your boy, Pretty Paolo Sambrano, and to my right,
I am DJ Melvis, and I, for one, appreciate a great Ladytron reference when I hear it. To my right,
I'm James, AKA Gabby J. Looking forward to this new decade.
I'm John, AKA Chaos, and I'm also looking forward to this new decade.
and coming all the way live, our Miami connection. Give it up for...
Hey, it's the one and only Team Chris. I'm just happy. It's midnight out here, and then 3:05 in, and I'm just just happy to be here, man. It's a dream come true, just to spread the good word about freestyle.
Oh yes, thank you for joining us.
We're so happy you're here.
Well, pleasure, man.
Quick peek behind the curtain. It's like currently 9 p.m. here, Pacific Standard Time. It's midnight over where Chris is at right now in Florida. So, 24/7, all day, every day.
Coast to coast.
Yeah.
Freestyle ain't never sleep. What's the sleep? What's the sleep you talking about?
Yeah, Wall Street too. Freestyle never sleeps,
all
right?
It's all hours. Actually, I'm just coming from a Street Fighter tournament. I'm trying to qualify for the Super League 5v5. It's like an amateur version of Street Fighter League. So I'm trying to get on the Miami team. We're getting close.
Oh, hey, good luck with that, man.
yeah, we'll definitely dive into that a little later.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So real quick, we just wanted to... You've seen the trailer. You've seen the hype building in the Freestyle Takeover Discord. You're hearing it first on episode 17. We're bringing you new decade, 1/18/20. We got a loaded card for you right now. We are so stoked to be partnering with Valkyrie Dimension for Clash of the Valkyries 6v6 women's only tech tournament. Qualifiers are up. You feel free to check their social for more details on that. Next up, we got Dance Rush Freestyle. It was such a banger at Night in Motion at Infinity Stage San Jose. We are running it back. And then, as always, Dance Dance Revolution. But for the first time ever, we are doing a lower division. Have you ever felt like you wanted to freestyle, but you were just too intimidated to try? I mean, this tournament is for you. There's going to be no excuse. First time people ever competing, or if you're just new to it, we want you for this tournament. And as always, upper division, belt is on the line. Apple Frog's got a target on his back, and I am expecting a bloodbath for that belt.
Bringing in the heat, let's go.
And the immortal ones of Slick Mahoney, go grab my belt. I need a spanking, baby.
Oh, man. So without further ado, Team Chris, welcome to the Freestyle Takeover podcast. We're so glad you're here.
Ecstatic, man.
We know who you are, and I'm sure there are people who listen to the podcast who know who you are, but just quick rundown.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I would say I've been playing Dance Dance Revolution now. It's getting I hit my 19th year of playing. I've been playing since I was 12 years old, so... Mostly, I identify just from a whole different era of the game where it was just the freestyle scene, basically. I'm mostly I know everything, second mix, third mix, and everything, and just I'm still playing, man. As long as my knees are still there, it's just I just want to continue to just try to innovate and just pay homage mostly to just the way that I used to play freestyle. It's a lot of just getting together and improvising, just having that whole endeavor that I could just play DDR just completely this way. And I mean, I used to play technically up until about 2006. It's just that level of competition just wasn't for me, and I just wasn't having as much fun with the game as much as I just continued to just wanted to go out there and just show off over and over and over. And honestly, like, freestyle is the first thing that gripped me in DDR. Like, the moment I saw the arrows when I was about 13 years old, I was like, okay, how can I do tricks with them? How could I, as soon as I saw someone spin around, jump over the bar, or just incorporate like ways to make fun of songs on heavy, like either doing spins on Paranoia 180 or of course J Dog's Freestyle, which I went out of my way to rip off within my first year of playing.
Hey, AM3P, there's no shame in learning that routine. It's so classic.
It's just great, and I tell everyone should have one. Everyone should have a heavy AM3P freestyle. It's just
Get that in your toolkit.
I'd say it's like, our second foreign language, in NorCal. Like, you learn English, then you learn AM3P.
it's funny because there are songs that have like that quality, like Wonderland, in third mix, and it's really hard for me here in the East Coast to play like the songs that I really really love, like My Fire or Stomp to My Beat or those kind of things that I grew up with. I mean, even Stealing Your Moves, Mel. Like, I mean, I like it. There's like a bunch of artists that like I like am heavily like freestyle that I'm heavily influenced by, that I consistently pay tribute to and steal moves from. But it's basically like my basic way to work out. And DDR is actually the first game I traveled to compete in. I would travel to north of the state or even out of the state when I was like in my early teens and everything, and playing on fourth mix, fifth mix tournaments. Like I was at the Access Orlando tournament where you had the one-legged, one-legged person doing Stomp to My Beat.
What?
I was there. Yeah.
What?
I was there. I actually have a freestyle I can send you guys. I did Jam Jam Reggae, and I did a handstand, and I fell on my face. It looks awesome though. It looks awesome. Like it's just I'm 14 years old, and I'm just like, yeah, I can show you guys that. And
Taking bumps at 14.
Yeah, so I've been through it all, like being like made fun of in school by classmates because I played DDR, and the whole funny part is the people were like, no, that game, it just looks gay. I mean, that's what we were saying back in the day. We were just like, they were just knocking that kind of stuff, and I just said, no, I want to go all out with it. I want to do all the spins. I want to like dance on the bar. I want to do everything, and it's funny because that's actually the reason why I play mostly double. Is because when you play double, you're moving around both sides of the machine, so no one would jump on and mess with you.
There you go.
I like it.
That's an
Yeah, that's actually the real reason why I freestyle a lot on double. But it's just because my style and the way I play is just comes from this mold of having played DDR for decades and just interacting with the arcade with the other people. And just like, even to this day, I'll still get like a crowd of people around me. Like, I had a basketball player, Hassan Whiteside, like randomly Instagram story me on his Pump It Up, and yeah, like
he got traded.
No, it was after. It was like a few days after.
Oh, okay, but he was in Miami.
Yeah, he was in Miami visiting Arcade Odyssey.
That's so sick.
And I was minding my own business playing Pump It Up, which recently I started playing more. Like I started really getting into that because I enjoy the K-pop, and I think we're in a K-pop renaissance, and we need to just embrace that.
Not even just dance games, but literally everywhere in the world. Like K-pop is a thing right now.
I'm so happy for what it's become. So I'm playing Pump It Up to embrace it, and then I turn around and Hassan Whiteside's there, and he puts me on the gram.
Wow, dude.
Crazy, right?
I need to watch this.
So awesome.
like the moment I turn around, he clicks post, and I'm just like, oh my god! I didn't even know he was there. Like, it was just one of those random things. And what else I like also is why I play doubles. Just like if a girl sees me play and everything, and then how her guy gets watching me play, and it just becomes like a hilarious interaction. And that's why I made that distracted boyfriend meme with myself. and then the boyfriend's like looking at me. That's what I used for my DDR 25th anniversary picture.
Oh, that's excellent.
But yeah, it's really been an incorporation of my life. And what I do now is I incorporate it in my vlog and my sketches, where I use like me playing DDR like kind of as transitional scenes, or just different acts or parts of the sketch. So you'll see me get into things, and then suddenly, boom, I'm just doing some DDR moves. And it's just what I just love. And really, regardless of the competition of DDR and freestyle, I love the audacity of it. That is just what really just you can't ever take it away from me, or anyone really. And that's really what I want to get out there and inspire more people to just have fun with the game.
Yeah, and you're doing a really good job of it. Like just the message that you're sending, the videos that we've seen of you lately too. It's just like it's a total embodiment of that.
You guys have pushed me to get better too.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Really happy to hear that.
Appreciate it. That was kind of our mission statement to the rest of the fan base when we first brought Freestyle Revolution, when we put Freestyle Takeover out there. We just kind of wanted to say, hey, you know, we're bringing it back, and we know there's some people who've been wanting it out there, and I think the call to arms worked.
It really does. It makes a difference when you feel like you're a part of it. And coming to last year's Freestyle Takeover, that was the biggest takeaway for me. Was I was really proud of it. I really pushed myself to get back in shape, to get back to form, you know, and really what I wanted to do was to see if I could still do a lot of the gimmicks that I did back in high school back in the day. Because my friends still tell me, hey, man, you can't slide like you did 80 pounds ago.
Oh, dang. Is that a challenge?
Like they're savage with me, and but I like that because it
Hearing that quote, I feel
love.
personally attacked as well, so it ain't just you.
yeah, but I love it. I love it, and the thing is even when people make fun of me playing DDR or try to trash it or whatever, like I laugh in their face literally. I mean, even and it's the best part is that I just like I grew this huge power trip ego from the one trophy I won. Winning DDR Storm, and I'll just never forget. You know, I just went over the top with it, and it's something to me like winning DDR Storm, like just like it was a dream come true for me. I shed tears of joy that night, and it's just something that that I never want to lose this game, and I just don't want to take away from feeling like I can really contribute to the culture of it and the history of it.
Like they can't take that away from you, man. Like I still think back to one of my highlights was winning a tournament like in 2003, and it felt like I never felt anything like it before, regardless of how non-players see freestyle. Like it only like makes us more empowered to come twice as hard with freestyle and really be unashamed to put it out there.
It truly is, man. And I'm hoping down the road I can get more access to classic songs and do more classic routines. Like I actually got to play Fourth Mix Plus for a little bit at First Attack. So I have some things that I'm going to share on one of my next upcoming vlogs from there when I went to Puerto Rico. But man, it's just people today's DDR players really hate Fourth Mix Plus.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
They do.
It's
No
like,
speed mods.
they're
You can't
not
sort
speaking for
songs.
myself.
Does
First of
DJ
all.
Melvis have to choke her?
Like the menu, but that's about it.
frankly, what a lot of other DDR players have told me these days is that some of them don't even care about the music; they just want the steps. And I'm like, no.
It's a different, different demographic, man. Nowadays, I mean, I'm pretty heavily entrenched in like the tech game also, just as much as freestyle, of course, and you know, like the way the approach is so much more different than what it was back then. I mean, just even with the tech side too. I think tech also. I mean, you see where you see how much more physically demanding it is now. How much more technique is involved. So I guess when you go
100%.
right. So when you go
everything,
exactly,
it exploded.
It totally did.
It got super competitive.
In a matter of like not even like a few years even like.
Yeah, around Max 2, I feel like is when it really exploded, and it got to the point where people were just like, huh, "You still freestyle? What?" You know?
Well, us in NorCal, we were still freestyling at DDR Extreme Day, so I think we were cool with that. But I think maybe everywhere else in the U.S. maybe it was.
We just stopped ripping off you guys. That was the reality. I mean, there were a lot of things though that like freestyle got weird because it was like I feel like a lot of the contests I went to like seemed to favor nudity more than like anything else.
Like Shock Valley,
Yeah.
But
bunch of Shockmasters.
like there was literally, there was literally a contest I was in. I got third place and I won $200 for Tiger Direct. a gift certificate for $200
wow.
Tiger Drag.
I remember that
I
story.
did Bumblebee. And I think I cut a heel promo in the middle of it, and I gave one of the female judges my phone number during the gap.
Wow.
Oh.
That's tight.
But the guys who won did like a 1-footer song and stripped to their underwear and did a Yata reference, I think it was.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh gosh.
And they won. But the thing, they were entertaining. I give it to them. But the thing that got to me was there was a guy who was a break dancer who did a spin the disc double, and oh my god, the shuffling, the movement, the rhythm, he should have won.
Yeah.
And he got 5th, and Nigma got 2nd. Yeah, he got 5th. Like, I finished better than him, and I thought that was messed up. And Nigma got 2nd, and that just felt like a really weird tournament because Nigma should have won, and the guy who got 5th should have got 2nd. And it's just weird because also the Access Orlando tournament. Looking back on it, the one leg stomp to my beat should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you look at it, the more impressive it really is. The fact that he did it 5 feet and everything. Knee Drop won, and he's my biggest influence. I mean, Knee Drop is my dude. I love that guy, and he had an amazing freestyle that's worthy of winning the tournament, and it did. But the second place was a copy and paste of Dynamite Rave.
Like
so,
the hand plants and knee drops and all that stuff.
The knee drop, jumping over the bar.
Oh, fresh freestyle. Got it.
Yeah. But the thing is you would see a lot of tournaments also in New York and across the East Coast where they would do the same Dynamite Rave freestyle and place in the top 3.
Well, it just shows how like ubiquitous the A-Team was in like their influence in the entire scene. Yeah, so I vowed I'd never do Dynamite Rave again.
You never know.
And especially with the new lyrics. No.
Oh, God.
Yeah, with the...
Spare me.
Yeah.
Those lyrics. What happened?
It's not the same.
They're dead to me.
Yeah.
That's just, that became synonymous with freestyle. Like that's what people thought freestyle was. Just scenes across the country. It's pretty incredible.
It is. But the thing is like what I like is that we're making an effort to... you guys especially making an effort to bring about like a more consistent flow of the judging, you know, and my style, like my paradigm, I like degree of difficulty. Like I like someone styling like a double heavy track or doing basically just like something like some of the freestyles I was exposed to, like J Dog's AM3P, Jeneth, Paranoia with the spins.
Oh yeah.
I would rip that off like crazy. Me and a friend would have like one where we switched places during it. Those kind of things, that kind of freestyle. But I noticed that that the freestyles that more so get over. I mean, look like Apple Frog. I feel like and Decree, like both of them have like the complete package. I mean, they do it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's nothing you could take away from those styles and the personality and the energy that they bring to it and everything. And I just feel that I mean, judging freestyle, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why freestyle contests were just so hard to do. You know, it's a job no one wants, and I don't I don't envy anyone who has to do it. And it would suck if I had to judge a freestyle.
It is definitely one of the toughest things to do. Considering the term itself is a very broad term, you know. Freestyle itself is very, you know,
it's
like,
very on the spot.
Yeah.
And lots of guilt involved sometimes.
Yeah.
Second guessing sometimes, you know.
Because we still have freestyles where people will just do like Rhythm and Police heavy backwards.
Yeah. And I mean, it's
impressive.
It's impressive.
I don't know why. It's impressive. Yeah. It's something else, man, and I still can't full combo those gallops.
Mel, you're about to say something about judging?
I forget. Oh yeah, I remember you were mentioning something about judging being like unenviable. In a way, that is true, especially when you have like, say, you know, a good handful of routines that are all deserving of a top 3 spot and only, you know, 3 can place or, you know, win prizes.
See Infinity Stage.
Yeah. Infinity Stage Night in Motion was absolutely a bloodbath. It is, you know, as we like to say, it was the CVGL1 of the new decade. I swear that was not an intended pun. But I think one of the things that I like doing now, especially with this podcast and sort of with Freestyle Takeover as an entity, is that I think we're starting to have a lot more transparency with our judging. That's one thing. Second, like when people ask about like, feedback, we go above and beyond just, okay, yeah, you were good and you got like fourth place. I think one of the things that I really try to encourage is for competitors to come up to judges afterwards and, ask questions if you're curious, how can we get better? What did you like? What don't you like? Because that's one of the things when I look at judges, when I'm trying to build a panel, try to look for something like people who are, not only just experienced and, have love for the game, but they can offer, insight and be consistent with their takes. Mm-hmm. Because one thing...
Be constructive.
Yeah, constructive. Be fair, be constructive, and be transparent. And I think that's why competitors feel probably more, for lack of a better term, they feel more comfortable entering some of our tournaments because, we know they can expect a fair shake for the most, every time.
Yeah, and I want to really emphasize a point too. What Mel was talking about is ask questions.
Yes.
Talk to your local players. It is so important. Doesn't matter if you're a high skill player or lower skill, or you just starting on freestyle. Especially if you want to get into freestyle, ask questions.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out actually to Apple Frog and Kanauru, who actually came up to me personally after specific tournaments, and they came up to me and they asked me. They picked my brain. They're saying like, it's like, what do you think I could have done better, or what did you see for me that you didn't like? I was like, Apple Frog is undoubtedly the MVP of last year, or what he's been doing with his concepts and like just overall with like the game itself is absolutely insane. The meta, there's a new meta.
Yeah.
His name is Apple Frog. Yeah.
It's like a whole other level. I mean, you could see me in one of the videos after his Remember You performance. I'm like on my knees bowing.
Right. Yeah, we saw that.
I was just so impressed by he tells a story, but it's just the movement and the rhythm in the movement, like the technique. He incorporates like interpretive dance into it, and it's another level, man.
And it's funny at the same time, like it's tongue in cheek, like it's all.
He's got, like I said, the complete package.
It's complex. It's
impressive on entertainment value. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, it's about love. It's like a love story. It's emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So even somebody. So back to my point. It's like even with somebody like Apple Frog, who's, who is, I guess you could say, like on top of the ladder right now.
Yeah. He's been doing it for like a decade too.
Right. Still coming up to his local. Still coming up to people like me or like whoever, and still asking questions because he wants to get better. Mm-hmm. And that's what I encourage like anyone that's listening to this. Is ask questions, talk to people, talk to us, talk to Chris, talk to everybody. Like make it a discussion. Join our Discord. And mention us on Twitter. Yeah, like it's like we are always here to help. We're here to help. We're here to grow the community. We're here to, I've been saying it already. Yeah, just like communication is key. Absolutely.
Yeah, we just love seeing new players, and we're not going to bite your head off. We're not going to make fun of you or anything. We'll be constructive about it because we love seeing new people get into this and improve and just develop over event to event.
Absolutely.
And most importantly, like people like us, we were in their shoes at one time too.
Exactly.
I mean, this is like pure counseling at its, absolute finest.
Seriously.
I was on the message boards. I mean, I just remember people from SoCal players, because I was also playing Beatmania 2DX. So I dabbled a little bit in that, and at least like they taught me to man up and never 5-key auto scratch.
Same here, man. Same here. They
7 keys in the turntable.
Don't get lazy.
Yeah. Really quick, I just want to take 1 minute plug to plug out Corey, AKA version 2. Shout outs to him. He actually just got featured in a background video for a new song.
I seen it.
They released a new event for the newest 2DX,
Whoa.
and it was actually a throwback to one of the old DJ Taka songs, Second Style, which was on Second Style, and the song is called 27th Style. And Corey, this guy who I used to see all the time back in Golfland, like playing 2DX. Speaking of, like we would just play 2DX and DDR, and he was the first person in America to pass Max 300, by the way. But this guy,
Oh,
it's come full circle. He's he's immortalized in the game now, in the background
That's
video.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Also, a SoCal player, Fox. He's in that video as well.
Is he really?
Yes, he is. He lives in Japan now.
Damn.
Oh, what?
And he does photography and all that shit. So yeah, Fox, the guy who if you were ever in SoCal and you saw someone AAA Can't Stop Falling in Love speed mix, it was likely him.
Oh my gosh.
So
See?
yeah, I mean it's just
Well then, shout out to both of them because I actually didn't know it was Fox because they were wearing wigs and mustaches and
well,
stuff.
you
Yeah.
can
What's the
barely
video?
recognize Fox now because he's total Bushman now too. But he's cool as hell.
Yeah, but it literally just came out yesterday, and
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, you gotta check it out, man. It's on Twitter. I actually added Corey. I'm like, is that Corey in the video? He's like, haha, it is. And I'm like, what?
Now who that is?
Know who that is? So crazy, man. Yeah, just a quick shout out to him. Just B-Money. Just the entire B-Money community. We're all family. No matter what game you're playing. Our community is very small as it is already. It's we all gotta support each other. So again, shout outs to Corey.
It's
Doing
a
big things
treasure.
now, man.
It's
It's
a-
a trip, man. If you have time to
Dimani's
watch
a
it.
treasure, man. It's everything, man. Even because at Arcade Odyssey, we even have Dance Maniacs.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's the game too, man. Woo.
I'll send over a video of doing that. I can almost beat the extra stage. I'm getting there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But I did that. We played Para Para Paradise. I wish I could find one of those machines.
I have to
That-
say, that's
that
two
game
machines
is
you've mentioned that
amazing.
are at my crib.
Right.
Everything about it, it's just yeah. But going back to the community being really welcoming and everything, it's just yeah. I just remember when it was when I came from the DDR gang warfare kind of thing, and we had going on in Florida. We started a gang
Damn.
with Knee Drop and them started Down South Stomp. And I wasn't an original member, but we had it was half freestyle, it was half technical, and we would go out and Knee Drop would win the freestyle side, and then we had Dave, our technical guy,
Damn.
and he was actually a sensei to me, but he was getting double S's in DDR USA mix, which is a triple A.
Double S, yeah.
Double S, man.
Yeah, and he was getting triple A's on one-time speed, before speed mods ever existed, and basically where every other machine we had playing out there was USA mix.
Yeah.
Um,
They're everywhere.
They were everywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And I love USA mix from a freestyle perspective. USA is
Well,
amazing.
it had a great variety of from different mixes.
Yeah,
Second, third. I don't know if there was fourth.
Let's say
yet,
USA had Stomp to My Beat
Yeah.
did it?
but- Yeah.
So-
that's
the
The Silent
USA had "Love This Feeling" and "Trip Machine Love Mix." Those were the
Yes.
fourth mix songs it had,
Gotcha.
if I recall. But it had "Stomp to My Beat." It had "Boys."
Make a Jam.
Make a Jam was on there. Yeah, Make a Jam was on there. And what's the Make It Better? I think it is.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
that
of
one.
course.
The
Yeah.
original.
That one was on there, and Jam Jam Reggae.
So much freestyle.
So much.
Yeah,
freestyle.
and Beats Brilliant to You. You
Brilliant
had
to You.
Silent Hill and Put Your Faith in Me, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at you, Mel.
Hey. I love all this Jam Jam Reggae talk here, and it just keeps me thinking about CEO Storm and how I really should not have chickened out on my original idea because I was going to do Jam Jam Reggae.
Ah, man, I wanted to see that.
Dude, I had Jam Jam Reggae in a custody dispute after breaking up with someone.
Okay, story time.
Oh,
Like-
Jam versus Jam.
The thing is when I go out and I play DDR, casually with either with females or friends and everything, I'm just rocking out. I usually pick my Summer Love, Jam Jam Reggae, and Orion 78,
Ooh,
just
okay.
because I like those songs. And then there was a thing where someone I had broken up with saw me. Her boyfriend saw me playing my Summer Love, Jam Jam Reggae, and Orion, and he's like, "Hey, Christian's playing your songs."
No.
What?
Yo, stop snitching.
It's not him, right?
And
What?
I'm sitting there excuse me, but I have Orion 78. I have a trophy. I won my championship with Orion 78.
Oh my gosh.
And then,
Well, that
and
settles
then
it.
Jam Jam Reggae. I mean, I have a video of me 13 years old falling on my face.
Oh my god.
Okay, like straight up, after we do the 30 for 30, like the search for Kevin Kim, this has to be episode number 2. This story has some really freaking big legs on it.
Yeah.
like, this is- but the thing is Jam Jam Reggae is really fun. Like you like the jumps, like spinning through the jumps is amazing. And then there's always that part where you go, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic. It's a classic.
Yeah, and it's like I like my style of DDR will rub off on some people, and then people start like ending the song like facing the crowd. Like with Jam Jam Reggae, you have that left right, up down, left right. So everyone with me like always like does like a 180 to that part and faces the crowd and everything. And it's just like, and I was saying, I was like, no, like if I really cared, I would have done Broke My Heart, After the Game of Love, and Secret Rendezvous.
There you go.
Nice.
That's post relationship, yes.
Yeah, like that's if I wanted to send a message.
Right?
so it's just like, yeah, I've had to fight for ownership of Jam Jam Reggae.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's amazing.
And there's 2 versions of the song too, but everyone wants that version, the one that the AMD mix.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
the one
third
that's
Because
mix
it has
version.
those
mix,
jumps.
yeah.
The third mix version. Yeah. That's the one with the fun steps.
And just like, but there's just songs that just flow through me that I feel like DDR has songs that just make you dance. Like So in Love is always something that that freestyle that I did for Cyber Cypher, it's special to me because it's a freestyle that I've always had, but I never made a routine or anything out of. So it's something that I just always did between songs, like in high school, because songs like that, Kind Lady, Let's Groove, there's My Summer Love. There's just songs that people naturally have a freestyle to, but they don't make a freestyle out of.
Yeah, it has a natural kind of groove to it. Like I
Yeah.
think I think when we had Little B here last time,
Right.
he was talking about
Oh,
when
legend.
he was talking about when he was step charting songs in Konami. He was talking about how he would try and make something that was like that he could think about, like, if I were to freestyle to this song, like what would it look like if I charted it, So
Right.
So like, yeah, I think like a lot of step charts, especially back in the day, just had their own kind of. I mean, there wasn't really like a definition for it, but I think like it just felt natural when you like you said, Jam Jam Reggae. Like you want to bounce the entire time. It's just like the steps are just they just call for it,
You know what steps I feel like really of what song had those kind of steps? I feel like is My Fire.
Absolutely.
On double.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Like
don't remember that chart.
the
I
steps
can
just
see
like they flow through each other. Like
Yeah.
It all made
yeah,
sense.
sometimes I would feel like classic songs have a kind of symmetry or synergy to it
Totally.
that you
Not
just
for the tech
like
side though. Those for tech it was a fucking impossible.
After a point, yeah.
After a point.
right.
But I think
Right.
for like the basic charts, you're absolutely right. I think they flowed a lot better, like without like having like an idea of like what they wanted to do. Like just
Yeah.
them charting it was like it felt a lot more like free flow. Yeah, like what you were saying. It's like it felt natural, like just going back and forth in between the pads, and just
Yeah.
your body movement, like it kind of followed. Like it was just a lot more natural. Yeah.
And like the verse had its own feel, like it would have like pairs of arrows.
Mm-hmm.
The chorus had its own feel, like it all made sense. Especially My Fire. I'm really with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the freestyles that I really liked. Was J Dog's Silent Hill double X heavy.
Yeah.
It's so minimalist, but it's beautiful.
So I want to say there was
And-
an entry on 2 where he did that one. Yeah.
But it's just the turns, the way the song turns and just like weaves around back and forth is just it's beautiful. Like every time that song is so beautiful that that one and Jam Jam Reggae heavy double. It's like when I do it, I can't tell if I'm freestyling or teching it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
there's
all,
just
all the crossovers.
there's no divide. It's just it's the way that I do it. It rewards style.
And you can do crossovers at that tempo and make it look beautiful.
Yes.
But after like Rhythm and Police at 180 BPM, after a certain point, it starts to look like DDR. But slow it down a bit, and it's just dancing. Like,
Right.
it's really nice to watch. Like, especially Silent Hill. I love Silent Hill.
Oh, it's a masterpiece. Yeah.
But yeah, I think what J-Dog was like, when it came to his technique, his sliding like footwork was second to none. Like, I mean, I like seeing him up close in person do like certain songs. Like, he'll pull slides out of nowhere. I know one of the techniques that he actually used was a kind of a, like if you're doing left, down, right, like that arrow sequence, he would actually use like a 1 foot slide that covered all 3 arrows. And it was just like, I looked at it like, wow, like this is how he pulls off the sorcery end.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
That's a lot of muscle. That's muscle control, footwork. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Balance, like
And if you ever like want to
Yeah.
see, and like probably the most impressive thing to ever watch him do, because he was a pretty decent tech player as well, like mostly on doubles. But like when he did Lost Senorita Maniac, there's one part in the almost right the pre-chorus. There's a really weird step pattern, and he like slides through it and combos it. I was like, what? At that speed and like that arrow density, how? And like to this day, I have watched the the step charts over and over again. I still don't know how he does it.
I swear there have been times where I've beaten La Senorita heavy double maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, but also there are 2 or 3 times where I have literally fallen off the machine because of the crossovers.
Yeah,
It's hard as
and
hell.
I don't blame you because that step chart
Yeah.
is it's all over the place.
Is it?
For lack of better terms, definitely all over the place.
It's just weird. Like it's too like the speed of it. Like I literally like spun off the machine and fallen on my
Oh
face.
jeez.
And it's
Yeah.
something else.
I'd say the only other old school double heavy chart that's like that would put you in that sort of precariousness is if you've ever played Turn Me On double SSR, that is like some of the
Oh,
most garbage
man, yeah.
steps I have ever seen. You're like basically doing the triple jump across the pad like half the
Yeah.
time.
I was a big fan of the erotic songs, by the way.
Oh, we all.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, please not so quick,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
We used to call that, "Oh, Chris, please not so quick."
There's
Like
gotta be
we had a
story behind
freestyle
one,
of
too.
that.
Has to.
What I love about Turn Me On, Do It All Night, and Oh, Chris, please not so quick, is the gaps between the arrows and stuff,
Oh yeah.
where you can just like go there and just pose and just
Yeah.
go like, Chrissy, Chrissy, or yeah, like
Sorry.
you can't. I don't think you can put those songs in today's DDR.
No. Not
They
today.
were. Hey, I'm blessed that my Max 2 had Blow My Whistle, Bitch.
Is that what you call loud?
Is that what you?
Like, because then they started censoring it, and I was like, I knew this is the end. I was like, oh my god. But it was, yeah, it was all. It's this just. There's so many gems, man, in the old songs that people just that are just out there that just have these, like either these jank step patterns that just like what, and that just make you dance.
Well, it's also a sort of testament to how big it was to have that whole Dance Mania connection with Konami and the whole DDR franchise, because you had the whole Dance Mania, EMI. This was a lot easier to get the licensing going. Nowadays, it's a little dicier.
For sure.
But
Those were the
variety
days.
is pretty crazy these days.
The variety is
Like,
still just
it's-
as good now, I think.
Yeah.
But I think you can never take away from what we had back then.
Yep.
Like the Dance Mania
Yeah.
licenses are legend. That's literally what defined old school EDR. You know?
They were incredible. I mean, the Smile DK songs, and I used to have a few of the Nonstop Mega Mixes myself. My favorite was, I think, J Paradise 2 and Extra 1.
Yeah, and see,
I haven't heard those.
I've never heard like the actual full Dance
Wow.
Mania non-stop mixes.
Oh, they're so good, man.
Yeah.
I had J Paradise. Probably my favorite was actually Summer's 2001.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that one. Yeah.
I remember, going to like places like the Kinokuniya or like all to the Japanese bookstores and having to pay like $50 a CD for one of them. But dude, it was so worth it.
Can I find
Oh
these on
my
LimeWire or what? Yeah.
I mean, and it was like I would just play it for my friends, and they're like, "What is this? Where do you hear this music?
It's like such a treasure trove of Europop trash, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
You can like divide your life into like pre-dance mania and post-dance mania.
Oh,
Like,
basically.
like your
Oh.
tolerance for bullshit and weirdness and all kinds of it goes like anything goes after that.
Once Smile DK is involved, that's
That's a wrap.
Shout out to Papaya. That was my jam.
mine. I love Dancing All Alone.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That's
That
such a
song
great
is
song.
like, wow, another level.
Yeah, I thought we'd never see a routine to it, but thank you, Jonas.
Yeah, seriously, Jonas. Thank you for that spectacle.
Quick segue. So you recently went pro in the FGC. You want to tell us
Yeah,
about
kind of.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. So really, I've been focusing more on playing and competing and doing commentary for Street Fighter, and really, fighting games has always been there with DDR. Like, it was always, if I was cooling down from DDR, I would go play fighters. My arcade had Virtual Fighter 4, Capcom vs. K2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I mean, we had everything, including Alpha 2, 3, Rival Schools, you name it. And so, around Street Fighter 4, I started hanging out with people who wanted to get involved in tournaments, and I started getting to know more of the Miami scene. And it was just, I just started just going out more and more. I've kind of taken more and more of a liking to 5, to SF5. I'm still hanging with it. I just keep getting better, and really just I've just been spending my time and my resources after work going to major tournaments everywhere. I compete in like every Street Fighter game I can, like Alpha 2, Super Turbo, Third Strike, and SF4. And really just been going on that adventure, but always just playing SF5, just always going to tournaments every week. Just came from one now, and yeah, recently I just got to a level in Street Fighter 5 where I feel like going on stream, I'm equally as nervous as I am playing off stream. So I'm like, hey, let the people on the Twitch chat talk, and I just want to just put up a big fight, give people a good fight to watch, and that was really my motivation going into my last few tournaments, and it's just been good getting at a better level, but there's still like so much to do and so much to add to. And really, it's just incredible how you can be competitive in these games and you continue to find more and more and more. But really, it's the adventure. It's making rivals and meeting other people and doing those things. So next week, I'm going to Capcom Cup, and I just want to continue playing Street Fighter with the absolute best of the best, because that's always been that video games, Street Fighter in general, has always been a passion of mine since I was since I was 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, and I was always obsessed with it, getting beat up by the summer camp kids and everything, and seeing the Street Fighter 2 cabinets at 7-Eleven, and it really means a lot to me. But what's fun is just doing commentary as well for games and stuff, and not just for Street Fighter. I mean, doing the commentary for the CEO freestyle tournament was epic. In DDR, that was epic, and I'm glad everyone liked it. The stream chat liked it. And I'm open to doing more of that down the road for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Love to have you back.
Definitely have you back. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be. I'm honored, but the funny part is that either way, playing and doing commentary and competition, it really doesn't like. I don't. I see them separately. I keep them separate. I can just shift gears and focus on being a commentator, and then shift gears and focus on being a competitive player. I love that, and I don't see one as being like better than the other. I see them both as a completely different grind, and it's just a completely different energy with different goals that you want to bring to it to make it great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And to me, it's a blessing, and being able to still do it. I turned 33 this month, so yeah, and being
Happy
able
early
to just,
birthday.
thank you. Yeah, just my motivation is just staying in the tour, and just staying relevant and everything, and just see. I mean, I just love seeing where I stack up with the rest of the world, and win or lose, I just love putting in the effort and just seeing what happens.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, as well, we talk about how in the whole tournament scene, you think of something like Street Fighter, which has been going on for like damn near 30 years. Like, I still have vivid memories of like 1991, 92 or so when Street Fighter 2 was first a big thing, and it was Milpitas Golfland that had the big tournament, and then like that finals was in San Diego at La Jolla, out there. Yeah, it was like back in the day when I was getting my ass kicked by guys like John Choi and like, the Cannons.
I fought
and
him
like
2 years ago at Evo.
I can't remember if he was there. Jason Cole, like the big Dawson player. Yeah, like I went to high school
he
with
still
that
plays,
guy.
yeah.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So it was, when you get your ass beat by them, it was pretty discouraging. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to beat these guys anytime soon. And sure enough, I was right. But, I mean, it's wild to think how that's evolved for, as long as it has, which says a lot about, just the FGC community in general, how, it's a proven concept. Some people think it's a flash in the pan. Nah, this has been going.
Oh yeah, it's been going for. I mean, I've been on the Shoryuken forums and been following Evo since even before the Daigo parry. Like, I read and knew about it even in 2002, 2003, and really it was for me. I've always wanted to travel and go out because as a kid I've always been addicted to like adventures, and to what I love about all this stuff is just the adventure of it all. The whole like putting together the travel and finding places to stay, and just like those weekends, and just like going from one side of the world to another side of the world, and just the level of competition. But the most important thing is being out there to surprise yourself too and discover new things is really the great big takeaway of it. And I'm just nothing but positive about the whole ordeal.
It just takes you places. I'm going to Texas for the first time in March for a big deal. Like, I've never been to Texas. I can't wait to check it out though.
I haven't been. I have a friend in Texas, in Houston. I stayed with him for Texas Showdown, that tournament. But there are some like other. I do want to go there for more scenes down there, especially in the fighting game scenes as well, because they have a really good thing going there for Street Fighter 2, especially the free play arcade. That I want to check more out of.
Like, before this is like, what reason do I have to go to Texas? And
Texas is great.
It's just through this, like, even though there's no DDR freestyle there, I'm gonna go 1 and 2 in DDR Ace. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, but I'm still gonna meet a lot of people in that area who have never.
Yeah.
I would probably not met otherwise, or not for a while. It's important to do these things while you still can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to keep doing it. I would love to do it in my 40s and 50s, man. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as my knees let me and everything, and I can still, I want to stay on the machine and just keep chugging away. I love it.
Yeah, we could definitely tell your positivity through just your tales of going through, these tournaments and such like that. And that's such a big takeaway for anyone who's, trying to find their way in freestyle, like anything in life. If you're just motivated by the love of it and just, getting better and challenging yourself as opposed to like challenging others, I mean, that's dope. That's just kind of one of those things I wish I kind of felt more back in my day, because in a way I kind of felt like a mercenary when it came to tournaments. It's like, I gotta go first, man. I gotta, win this. I gotta win that. That's like, the pressure was on me, I mean, my first tournament I won, I was like, well, damn, I guess it doesn't, that's just the expectation now. So it became more about like, how am I going to beat everyone else? But, when I see these people who are like, they don't care how they're going to do, they just want to put their best foot forward and all that, I look at them like, man, I wish I was, I felt more like that. So it's like, when I see that, it warms my heart, because it's like, I didn't end up seeing like a whole bunch of clones of me that were a bunch of freaking heartless bastards, in competition. Which to say I wasn't, mean or anything, but,
Yeah, it's the adventure is everything. And I just, because even people who are like really high up there are people that are at levels that I would kill to be at, and I've seen them just, especially in esports, and I've seen them just like put so much pressure on themselves, and it's like, I got 7th out of 3,000 people. God, I still suck. God, and everything. And I'm like, man, if I made the top 8, dude, I would be like, I would blow that up.
Yeah.
I mean,
3,000 people, man. It's it's not a small number. Like, and to be able to make a top 8, man.
I mean, definitely, it's just crazy because, like, I don't ever want to have that kind of perspective where it's just like, to me, it's just people have so many different grinds, and you know, you start to notice when you see like comments and people writing you on social media and Twitch and everything, that people that really wish they had like more of the opportunity to kind of pursue it and chase it, and so they're rooting for you and supporting you to go out there and chase it yourself and to get it going and everything, because they appreciate it. And really, it's just having that kind of perspective that, hey, this is my grind, that I'm just like going out here and, you know, just going out here and showing up and being the best at video games. I mean, it beats a lot of things that people have to do in life. It's like, this is great. I'm spending my weekends doing this. I love it.
And people shouldn't take it for granted.
Yeah.
You're lucky to be doing it.
Man. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Really quick, guys.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I got to make my early exit, but it's been a blast talking with y'all. Especially you, Chris. Thanks for joining us again. It's been great just being able to conversate with you and just you know, shooting the shit basically. You know, like about freestyle, FGC, all the good stuff, and we hope to see you again in the future, brother.
For sure.
Sure. All right. So this has been John, AKA Chaos. You can find me on several social media platforms. Too long to name, so just find them on our website, freestyletakeover.com. All right. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Check you later.
All right, Chris. Take it easy, brother.
You too, John. Take
Yes,
care.
sir.
Good seeing you.
Yes, you. You too, man. All right.
Right. Yeah,
Later,
we can
brother.
totally stitch that at the end of this segment.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, John.
Peace.
Thanks for having me. Sorry I have to leave early.
No problem.
No, thanks for staying.
Good night.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna say my MVP for Cyber Cypher 4 was what's her name again? Amadashi Tofu. She's my MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stitch that in there somewhere.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Later.
Peace, guys.
Which one was she? Burning 4 or Sakura?
Burn the phone.
Burning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It was such a tight. We just go into that. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
such a tight race, man.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
We just go CC4.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, we want to wrap up this little segment.
Yeah.
So Chris, I know I told you about an hour's worth. If you want to
Yeah.
take off, that's cool. We're gonna talk Cyber Cypher 4 a little bit.
Yeah.
We'd love to have your thoughts, just
Yeah.
if you got time.
Yeah, I do. What I really loved most about Cyber Cypher was just I didn't expect it to be so like cross cultural. I mean, I'm really happy for Decree like repping the U.S. and taking it. But at the same time, like I was just so impressed by the love I got from the Japanese freestylers and the love that, you know, we exchanged, and their freestyles were excellent. I got to shout out the girl who got 5th. I just don't know if I pronounced her name right. It's like Kawasano. Like, she's good as hell.
Hometown and on Twitter, and
Which,
she did Ballad for You. She's in our Discord. She has great English.
Yeah.
She's
Okay,
been kind of bridging the gap these days
seen her on
between
there.
us and the Japanese freestylers. So
and
she's
it's like,
amazing.
and there's I just kind of became a big fan of that, and it's really cool seeing like that I'm more so following more Japanese freestylers and just that whole thing in general and all that, and then seeing the feedback that I got, I was really happy to see. And it was just overall just a great event. But I really love the fact that it's bringing American and Japanese freestyle together, and I'm really, really impressed with seeing it just rise up so much as an international game. And overall, I thought the presentation was great. The rules were great. I thought the stream was great. I had a blast with it, and it was just, to me, I felt like it was really next level, and I felt more connected than I expected to be out of that whole experience.
I think we did too.
Yeah.
The response really kind of blew us away, and it's one thing to see, because I've seen some of those dancers from playlists from YouTube. Whenever there's an event in Japan, they post all the vids at once in a batch, but really it's really a different experience to see them on social media and just uploading it on their accounts with some they just put together kind of off the cuff, and it really just meant something that they went out above and beyond.
Truly.
Let's say, isn't there a round one tournament going on?
There's one going on tonight. It was a remote tournament in Japan. It was Japan only to qualify,
wow.
and then the second round is tonight, like streaming as we speak. So
Wow.
I can't wait to check that out.
I'm gonna go check that out. Well, anyways, guys, I gotta run, but it's been a pleasure.
Awesome, man.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure's all ours too. Yes.
Thank you so much, man.
James, Paolo,
Good luck
Val.
next week,
Yeah,
dude.
you're a mensch, man.
go
You're a
kill
fart, dude.
Well, I love you guys, man. We'll keep in touch. All right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
looking forward to it.
Also, did you want to shout out any social media, like where anyone can reach you at?
Oh yeah. If anyone if you want to reach me, you can find me on Instagram. If you want to, that's where all my DDR stuff is, and Twitter. I have the same handle. It's at CR Bauman. So most of it is just most of my social media is just my gaming adventures, but that's pretty much at CRBAUMAN Christian R Bauman. That's where you find me, or if you just search TeamKhris, TAMKHRIS, one word, I'll pop up somewhere.
The World
So-
Warrior.
Yeah, it'll be there.
I love it.
But yeah, I appreciate it, man, and I'm gonna have some more videos coming up real soon. I've been shooting, so you'll see. I promise to be more active next year, and I'm putting together more of my show and my series on YouTube, which can be found at youtube.com/TeamKhris. That's going to be launching more hardcore this year, and DDR is going to be one of the central focus. The plot is going to center around DDR quite a bit.
All right, looking
Awesome,
forward to
awesome.
Quite a bit, yeah. All right, man. I'll see you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Nice.
Enjoy your weekend.
Second stage. All right. We ended Team Chris's interview talking about his Cyber Cypher 4 thoughts. Massive success all around. We had 25 entries, like a whopper. I'm looking at it. I'm getting a little overwhelmed looking at all of the.
it. I believe it was 26.
26. Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. Yeah. 26 with a bullet. Your top 8 for Cyber Cypher 4 as follows. We tried to rehearse this off mic, and then so I'm just really apologizing so much for this in advance. Aswa 527 coming out of Yonan, Japan with Dead Ball de home run. We got Nut 7 Penny coming out of Osaka with Stay.
Yes, dear.
Kawausu. Home the Kawausu out of Saitama Prefecture, Japan with Ballad for You. 5. Akuasa. Oh no. What? Akausa. Ishikawa, Japan with Break Free. Yes, sir. 4. We got Yoon coming out of Gifu Prefecture, Japan. Sakura. 3. Agedashi Tofu out of Aichi, Japan with Burn in the Floor. 2. Kanauru out of Daly City, California with I Want You to Know. And number 1 winning Cyber Cypher 4, it is Cree coming out of Concord, California with Kakume. Cyber Cypher 4, y'all. Thoughts?
The turnout obviously is the first thing that jumps out to mind. That was crazy. Like, we haven't seen in-person tournaments show out as big as this. So this is it's overwhelming, and it's absolutely just, I'm flattered that people would think so highly, that want to, do this for, whatever reason, be it for the community, be it for all the swag we were offering, whatever it is, internet points, it doesn't matter. The fact that they showed out for this was so good. And the fact that we went across the ocean and had so much of a turnout for that was amazing. I think probably one of my biggest takeaways from it is really getting even more immersed in what the scene is in Japan. Mm-hmm. Like, when you look at their dance styles, there's a difference. I mean, they definitely use more of our arm movements. They're a little bit flowier and such. Just kind of looking at that, it's kind of like alternative rock in a way. It's something different than what we're expecting, and it's refreshing when your eyes can be opened to something different and you can appreciate it for what it is. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, it really snowballed from the first week. I think once word got out there I think it was Riri who started off. Riri, Hometown also. They got the retweets, and then Megani joined in. they seemed just really excited at the onset that this was happening. And I know we've done this before. We've done a couple of these, and gotten some entries from Japan. But this really seemed like the floodgates just opened up. Every other day or so, like we get 3 new entries, and folks I'd never seen before, people I'd seen on YouTube, but never interacted with. And that was one of the best parts of this for me was, even as simple as just going in their DMs, asking more, their location info, trying to get all that right. And despite that language barrier, it was just a love fest, just of freestyle from both countries.
It's kind of like you feel more connected now than,
Definitely.
yeah, on a personal level, as opposed to just like kind of passively watching someone and at best dropping a YouTube comment like,
That's really
good
it,
job.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I'd gone to Nagapathala, I would still have been super intimidated on the way over, just knowing like maybe one person, that's Riri. But after this, I'm excited to see people over there if I ever go.
I have to admit, we probably had some fortuitous timing having to Cyber Cypher after their major, up for, was it Nagapathala?
It was, yeah. That's true.
So, yeah, I guess it was a great timing on us, accidental or not. Hello, anything that jumped out to you?
I just think, I just hope we see more from Japan, and I hope this is the catalyst, and I hope that Japan becomes kind of, I mean, and this sounds mercenary, and I'm forgiving if it does, but like reliable, or just like I want to know that I want to expect a lot of folks out of Japan, not even out of, there's kind of a selfishness because I want to see more of it because y'all are so good. But yeah, I think that was my biggest takeaway. I think this is the story of Japan. CC4 is the big narrative to come out of this. So we see you, we love you. Thank you for seeing us. Thank you for taking the time to submit. I mean, yeah, I'm just overwhelmed looking at this list right now.
And
It really
the other
meant a
thing
lot.
that jumped out to me, female representation.
Oh, yeah.
God,
How good was
Yes,
that?
across the board.
Top 8, I want to say there was like at least 3, if not 4. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had 3.
And Yun alone could have taken the whole thing. I gotta talk about Yun for a second.
Can we talk about MVPs? Because is this
Yes.
going where I think it's gonna go? Because 1, 2, 3, Yun was my MVP.
Yes.
Like
She faced the screen, but she'd shown me something I'd never seen before in freestyle. Like on paper, Decree had the better routine, but I've watched Yun's over more. I think the most out of all these because I think she's incredible.
Probably my MVP. I know it's going to sound like cheating because I think it's totally a tie, but for different reasons. Like first, I was at Agadashi Tofu was dope. Like
Yes.
I just saw that, I was like, oh my! 'Cause before I'd gone through the entire list, I looked at that and I was like, dude, I think we got a winner right here. It was
that was your number 1 on the watch list, right? Wasn't that like on the judging sheet, right? 'Cause-
I eventually got second.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just like completely impressed. And I think aside from just being able to do a song that's relatively fast, it's in that Eurobeat sort of, type mold. But yeah, she's able to just kind of make it look easy and, like just not even effortless, just it was natural, It just flowed perfectly with, the right amount of motion and the right amount of movement. Everything just sort of fit, the song. The musicality, I think, really just, was crushing there. And shout out to the homeboy who was, like, reading his book in front of her and, like, completely no-selling
The entire time.
Like, man, do you know what's in front of you, man?
Yeah.
It's like greatness and you're just shunning it. But yeah, that, Kanahuru, actually, who I ranked number...
Real quick, watching her was like watching something out of a Konami video. Just hire this woman for your next like 2DX video for DDR backgrounds. She was it.
That's an awesome analogy. But yeah, Kanahuru was the one who I ranked first, and I liked it a lot for 2 reasons. One, there was a very good diversity in his routine. Like one part was sort of like the typical choreography that you would kind of expect and was done pretty sharp. And then like in the second half, he kind of got more to like the shuffling type thing that you'd see in Dance Rush. I was like, okay, I like the variety. He's kind of taking us one way, and now he's giving us the second half. It's like, all right, you gained the best of both worlds here. I like that. And just from having seen Kanahuru ever since like the first Freestyle Takeover event, and seeing his arc, his trajectory going from like the guy always he's good, but you could tell it was just something was holding him back, or it's like that confidence wasn't quite there yet for whatever reason. I saw it in that video.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, man, just seeing how he's come from there to that, like this is the type of story that you absolutely want to tell people. We talk about what we do at Freestyle Takeover, how we want to cultivate, how we see people go from this to that, how we encourage you to come talk to your peers, come talk to us and all that. And I think from him just being at the events and just staying on the grind, always participating, just being active. It just, whether it rubbed off on him or, etc., where he's been putting into hours, it shows.
Yeah, he was at the very first takeover. And I think the difference in these last two routines he's done, in Infinity Stage and here, I think his earlier stuff, he just never quite got into second gear, like you've been saying. And with the glow sticks at Night in Motion, and with the shuffling here, where he shifted up into a whole nother feel to the song. Yeah. Like it really shows. It really makes a difference. So, yeah, Richard, you're on fire lately, dude.
I feel like impact was the word in my head. Like everything. I mean, I'm just going to reiterate everything also, but I feel like everything just popped, or everything just felt like it had like a visceral reaction to it. While I was like, well, I had like watch it twice, I think, during judging, because it was just, yeah, I was just out of breath, but because I'm out of shape, but also because like you can just tell he was like, yeah, putting in that work. So,
and I think it's intimidating to choose a license because of what's expected out of that. Like you got professionals in music videos killing it to these songs, and versus DDR songs, which really have no established bar or anything.
Yes.
And no one today has picked I Want You to Know. And so for him to take that on and really, fill it out and show us something we've never seen before from him, that was dope. What were your thoughts on Decree?
When you get a Decree performance, it's like you think you've seen it all, and he has just a very strange, innate way of being able to put out a style that you're familiar with. Like, okay, yeah, I expect it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, he just totally copy and pasted this routine to the next routine.
Yeah.
But it all still feels like uniquely Decree, I think. That's, yeah.
It's moves I had seen, but in order that really matched the song super well. And how often do we get to see a Kakame routine? Yeah. Just for me, feeling his performance, despite the audio and like the angle and the video quality, like at Dave & Buster's, you could still tell he was ripping it. And if he'd been in front of an audience, that's why I always love about Cyber Cypher, like trying to picture how these would play in a tournament, and how hard it is just to film yourself at a sports bar and like not to give a fuck.
I think the thing with Decree, what probably is one of the biggest factors of him separating like one routine from the other, you just have to look at his expressions when he dances, because there's just like the emotion that he's very good at conveying with the song. Like, if it's something like Heatwave versus Kakame, like sure, the dance moves might be similar, but you could tell the vibe that he expresses between both are absolutely different. And, they're appropriate. They completely enhance, like, how you perceive the song.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. You got to match yourself to your song choice, and not just... if there's one constructive thing I will say to the majority of this list, I would like to see more facial expression and emotion. And we had a lot of good choreography and a lot of memorization, but I think for a lot of the judges, it didn't rank as highly because we didn't feel like an emotional connection to it.
In fairness, it is a little trickier in Cyber Cypher because it's you and the camera.
It is.
With a live audience, there's, that extra gear of like being able to see people's reactions. And then, when you get that positive reaction, you go into that next gear and so on and so on. So, if anything, this is maybe an exercise in learning how to make love to the camera.
Yeah.
And if Decree is good at anything, well...
And I guess to that point, I want to shout out Francisco, because I believe when he did Into Your Heart.
I was just looking at his name.
Yo, he was mugging to the camera at an angle. And I feel like, yo, take me out of context, but facials was a tag that I was putting in my notes. So
that's a Bowflex, man, yeah?
Yeah, Bowflex, yes. Man. Yo.
We love Bowflex.
Bowflex, Into Your Heart, and mugging at the camera. Like, I really appreciate that spatial awareness of, like, where are you performing to, at, and go, hit that. So.
He had his arrows on left, I think. Like he rotated 90 degrees.
Wow.
So he could see the screen and the camera at the same time.
Wow.
That is smart. That is
yeah. That was some round of applause for Francisco.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's the best I've seen from Decree in a while, and the best I've seen from Francisco since I've started watching him. Mm-hmm. So shouts to both of y'all. Do want to touch on the dead ball to home run routine with Aswa 527, which was completely unpredictable from start to finish, and like nothing I'd seen. Like this like Django Reinhardt guitar jazz, completely unique.
I remember when I first saw that this song is being in the Royal Rumble and all that, and I'd like never even heard of the song, and I like listened to it. I was like, oh god, you just gave someone like the worst. That's like the worst. Like no one's gonna pick this, and then they pick this, and then it's like you. It takes a very strange brain to come up with something like that, and for whatever reason, it was just weird enough. It worked.
Yep.
But I mean, weird in an absolutely good way.
Was he like doing the backstroke at one point?
Yeah. It's like you just have to take silliness and run with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good shout to, when we talk about freestyle and styles, just, doing the comedy and just the off the wall, completely out of the box. It worked, So it kind of, shows, if that's a lesson to anybody, there's no such thing as a completely unfreestylable song.
Yes. Which when we're choosing songs at random, is a great it's a great test for the dancers out there to make some of these songs work. I think we'll definitely do the Royal Rumble again in the future.
Yes. It's the tradition unlike any other.
Yeah.
But one I want to shout out is Home de Causo, the Ballad for You. Wow. A thing I liked about that more than anything is, I think it's just probably because of how North America and like how we've, in our scene, when we think of songs like that or, that are slow, that are kind of like the romantic or like the, sad ballad, it's often used as a springboard for some type of like comedy routine. And, so it kind of like gets mocked. So when you hear someone's going to do ballad for you, it's like, okay, it's going to be some sort of lulls or like an over dramatic representation of, but no, this was like
for someone to take it earnestly. Yeah.
Yes.
Right? It's refreshing.
Right.
I didn't see that since like Hamsterhead doing Silent Hill.
So with something like that, I was just like, wow, it's so wholesome and this is so good and flowing. And like you can, get the sense, like you feel the emotion in her face and her movement, like, oh wow. Like I don't want to break this gal's heart, if you don't get top 3. I'm gonna feel like a bad person.
Yeah, she's great. She's super positive and competing tonight at round 1. She qualified for round 2 of this round 1 remote tournament. Wrap your head around that. But yeah, she's hope she does well tonight.
That's dope. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get a watch on that later on. Mm-hmm. Who else was who?
Talk about Lev.
Oh yeah, Lev.
Oh, the home pad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The home pad and the home construction.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's our youngest competitor here by far. Just took me back to like learning how to freestyle or being comfortable enough to freestyle at home and learn it on home pads. Like back when I was 16, 17. I will say I would like to see more facial expression. I think he was using the mirror past the camera so he could see his arrows. So, working your charts, working your memorization. But no, out of the whole running, he didn't do too badly for himself and picked a fantastic song. Mm-hmm. You Are a Star. And he kept that energy up the entire time. So,
Rising Star indeed. I know the things I liked about his routine. The arm movements were definitely kind of remind me of like sort of a quasi-para, para type thing. He knows his history, and that's always you can never go back enough and just look at what shaped freestyle to what it is today.
Yeah, it's great to see.
But yeah, definitely it was a good first showing for someone who's always been active in the Discord and been looking for a time to show off and get their stuff out there.
He was really part of the reason I wanted to bring Cyber Cypher back because it had been a while since we'd done one. We didn't know if there was demand for it. But for players like Lev, he's out in Georgia. I'm not sure how the Georgia scene is. How freestyle
they've got a round 1 that's just outside of Atlanta. If not already there, it's coming soon.
Awesome.
So hopefully that means we get to see more of his stuff.
Totally. What were your thoughts on TeamKhris?
TeamKhris, man. It's like he's definitely got a very good energy to him. That's the thing. He's always kind of like he radiates positivity, and if this interview that we did with him doesn't sell you on it, that just look at any of his other routines, be it from Storm or from D2R and all that. Like he has good movements. Like he moves big, which is a good thing. Actually, Osman, who was like one of the biggest freestylers in Japan, I remember when on one of the message boards he talks about like how guys with bigger frames, like if they freestyle, the one thing that they can do is move their arms larger, making larger movements. Because if you're kind of big and you sort of like keep your arms close to you, or you don't really make full extensions, it doesn't look really good. It doesn't. You can't really sell your performance as well.
That's exactly what Lawrence told me But Fuzzy Hat said, yeah, for a tall dude, like you need to extend. And if you stay within a certain zone, you just look like you're half-assing it. So as much as I have to reach sometimes, like it's worth the journey to go out there.
I think in like traditional dance, that's considered lines. I guess that's what they call it. Yeah. So yeah, you're hitting your poses and you're hitting like certain points, and that's one thing that Chris does very well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And he's got this some little bit of swagger to him, some confidence, and he plays a lot. Just it shows the amount of practice he's put into it comes through in this, and the more you play, the more confident you are. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for him, just if we're looking at constructive criticism on how it could have stacked up better, I think for certain types of routines, people rely on like having full energy, for like that whole 90 seconds, whatever, and that's kind of good. But in a way, you kind of have to pull back just a little because you have to sort of like ride it's like a roller coaster. You have to have your high, and like that drop down, and then that build back up, and then drop down all that, because that's how you get the thrills. If you're just kind of flooring it for 90 seconds, it almost becomes kind of numbing after like 30, 45 seconds. Like you're just kind of used to it, like, okay, so you're kind of waiting for a payoff and such. And but yeah, that's kind of one of those things I would probably like to see more out of him. That would take his routines to like super next level.
yeah, just worked on structuring it, I think. Like we saw with Richard, just taking off into second gear. And I totally agree with that. It's just because a lot of the songs these days are longer, 2 minutes, 2:10.
Seriously.
DDR, that's like, thanks ITG.
Yeah.
DDR's got longer songs in there, and you need to think over your structure more closely now. Now there's more to fill. So, and personally, I want to loop back to Yun because I was blown away, and not just the fan gimmick, but the way her arm movements, she had these accents with her head, like she was tilting her head just the right moment to Sakura, and just complete confidence in her motions, being super accurate too, but also very graceful. Like I think she had everything, and I was really just happy to have been introduced to her and her style through this tournament.
It very much felt like a traditional dance that you would see at like some festival, not a you think with moves that complex or whatever, like that's not going to work for DDR, especially with a song that is relatively especially that has that really fast part at the end, because you have to move your feet and you have to have your arms in perfect lines up top. So being able to not only just have your upper body and your lower body both on point at the same time at that speed, just the degree of difficulty cannot be understated with that.
It was like watching something like Yerba Buena.
Yes.
Like her being able to stay that graceful and also play DDR at the same time is
like
what
you feel more cultured after watching that.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sure she's got a background in performance, and it was just such a pleasure to watch, and so it was awe-inspiring at the same time to play at that level while performing at that level.
Like, to me, that is the type of routine you can show a random person who's never seen freestyle before, and that's like one of the key pillars of not just high energy dancing. This is like you can do something really, really cool with this.
And if you haven't seen it yet, please go check out her performance to Endymion as the round 1 qualifier for the remote tournament.
Ooh, I actually have not seen that.
It's the hardest song in DDR. She didn't do the expert chart, but it's like the boss song for DDR Ace now. And what you saw in Sakura, she brings the fan again, but again, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Does anyone want to shout anyone else out?
I mean, there's like I would say legitimately routines like that I ranked probably 1 through 10 could have easily been in like the top 5. I mean, even like the guy who did Break Free in the Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Akusa or AKA USA, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, come on. If you've listened to this podcast long enough, Break Free is like, that's like catnip to all of us.
We got our wish.
Yes.
And Zio with his house dance and POZ keep on moving with like his Kid Zero.
Yes.
With Kid Zero plus shuffling. Just it made us
like
all.
Kid Zero and Supply did like the
Supply,
fusion dance,
that's right.
and that's what we got.
Yeah, Megane doing Para, just across the board, just these made us so happy. So thank you guys.
So I think just to like quickly wrap it up. So Lev, based out in Atlanta, was sort of looking for something, another like to perform in. And we do Cyber Cypher 4, and then pretty much all of Japan shows out. Like that's, to quote Watchmen, a thermodynamic miracle.
It's the holiday season, man.
And to all a good night. So, we are coming up on the end of episode 17 of the Freestyle Takeover podcast. I have been your boy, Pretty Paolo Zambrano.
And I have been your boy, DJ Melvis, and you can find me on all social media at DJ Melvis, be it Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff, or just find me in Discord. You know how we do.
I've been James at YeGabbyJ on Twitter. Wishing you all a happy holiday, and we will be drinking a toast to you.
Yeah, we're all gonna break free of 2019 and enter a new decade. So until then, check us out at freestyletakeover.com, on Twitter at FSTakeover. And Santa Freestyle Takeover has one more surprise for all of our good listeners out there. We are dropping one final Freestyle Takeover podcast episode for 2019, but with a twist. We will be running a live Twitch stream on our Freestyle Takeover Twitch, where we will review 2019 and come up with our 10 favorite routines of the year, and we'll have a watch along, and it'll be great. Come join us in this chat. Come see your favorites. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot. Technically, it'd be our first live episode.
Other than probably the live draft, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, as far as us just sort of shooting the breeze, yeah, it's no safety nets, man.
Oh boy.
Bill O'Reilly would be proud of us.
Until then,
we've just got 4 words for you.
Show me your performance.